following line of questioning is because lots of residents in Enfield are concerned this was not really done in an open and transparent manner.
Ask the Mayor a question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Last but not least, as always with me, Mr. Mayor, firstly, can I thank you for your oral update? And I really don't want to get onto the politics of this. I know you and I disagree vehemently on the Newtown allocation, well, draft allocation for Cruise Hill and Vicarage Farm. And Mr. Mayor, the reason for my questions is because Enfield Labour Council has not been honest with the public and not revealed many of the details. And the first we had all heard of it was when the MHCLG announcement had come and I think it was your interview on ITV. So can I just start with, when were you made aware of Enfield's proposals for a new town at Cruise Hill and Vicarage Farm?
I can't remember the date, but I can write to the member in relation to this. I met with the representatives from the independent task force. We can share the date. They visited some of the long lists in London. They then provided the list of 12, and I met with them in City Hall, and we can provide the date in relation to that. And they'd been on site visits, and I'm not sure the dates, but we can let you know.
I'd be grateful for that. And the reason for my next following line of questioning is because lots of residents in Enfield are concerned this was not really done in an open and transparent manner. So my next question is, did the Labour leader of Enfield Council, Ergen Erbil, lobby you to support this in advance of your statements?
We're lobbied all the time by people. I'm not specific. Can I write to them that? Because basically there are lots of areas in London that were on the long list of places to be a town proposal, and I'm sure the council would have been involved in those. I'm speaking generally.
No, thank you.
I can't.
The reason I ask is because there's been 2 recent pictures of you with Councillor Erbil, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm sure you get along very well. There was one just before the announcement, and there was another one at Labour Party conference before the announcement. And I appreciate you have lots of conversations, and as this was a private one, I'm not asking you to reveal any state secrets. But was this discussed at Labour Party conference between you and members of the council at Enfield?
I congratulated Councillor Erbil for the great news that his council was one of the winners. I mean, lots and lots of very unhappy council leaders across the country who weren't successful in getting their areas as part of the New Towns task force. I think his assiduous work must have paid off, because he was a winner when lots of others were losers.
Thank you for that response, Mr. Mayor. Did Ferial Clark, the Labour MP for Enfield North, lobby you on this, or has she expressed any opinion since the announcement?
Again, Chair, I wouldn't personally know about lobbying of the office and stuff, but I'm sure we can write to the member.
My next question, I appreciate we're both obsessed with planning, so I don't really want to get into a long back and forth on this. But is it your intention for the new town at Cruise Hill and Vicarage Farm to be a full-blown MDC?
I don't think any details have been worked out. My understanding is that there'll now be some consultation work taking place to assess the recommendations with a strategic environmental assessment. There'll then be a draft proposal from the government. I don't think the government set out whether it's a council-led scheme or a DC. I know they're trying to make it easier for DCs. So
MHCLG have effectively said they are looking to do an MDC. Along those lines. So this is why I asked the question, because in your statements in your interview, once the announcement occurred, you effectively were looking to take control of the scheme. And I'm not quibbling about that. As I say, this isn't about the politics of it. This is just about the technical nature. Also, the council has alluded to the fact, and Councillor Erbil himself has said that he would like, or is implying that it will be, an MDC. So it would just be good to get some clarity before the announcement as to what your intentions are before we get a go-ahead.
My understanding, Chair, again, apologies, I'm not more specific and I'm not being evasive, is the delivery vehicle hasn't been worked out yet in relation to whether it's the borough-led delivery vehicle or whether it's a DC. He'll be aware. There has been noises made from the government about they're in favour of DCs if it leads to expedited development. There simply isn't, as I understand it, and I will write to him, a decision made what the delivery vehicle is going to be for this.
But you must have a personal preference, you know, whether to be a DC, an MDC, or for it to be council-led. Surely, you know, you would want to have full control over this, wouldn't you? I'm not encouraging it either way, by the way. I'm asking the question.
I think the question is a fair question. I've got no views. It depends on the councils. There are some schemes that cross borough boundaries where it makes more sense to be DC, Old Common being a good one. There's, I think, 3 or 4 boroughs involved. It's quite complicated on schemes that are neighbouring a borough because the benefits seem both. Nine Elms is a good example, which Lambeth and Wandsworth. So it depends on the geography of the scheme. I just don't know enough about this particular scheme to have a view in relation to this. By the way, the Thamesmead scheme, I think, crosses 2 boroughs. So, but speaking generally without the details, I could answer.
OK, thank you, Mr Mayor. Now, there's been a lot of chat, obviously, because this will be a significant change. As I say, you know I'm completely opposed to these plans. I know you're very pro. But we will lose 1,000 jobs at Cruise Hill. And a lot of the chat amongst residents is there has been the possibility of landowners around the site being donors to the Labour Party. And I was just hoping you could put an end to that today.
I've got no idea who's a donor and who's not a donor to the Labour Party. What I do know is, generally speaking, the idea is to increase support for businesses, to increase growth and to increase retention. If you think about a new town with circa 10,000 or 24,000 homes, not only is there jobs in terms of the construction, but think about the business, the footfall for businesses in and around there. I just simply don't know about.
Yeah. No, thank you for that. I mean, well, we know that Reform are on the payroll of developers, so I thought I'd just check with you what your situation was. Mr. Mayor, one of the sorry, we don't need to look at them. There's one of the most nasty lies that's going around about this, and I'm not saying it's coming from you, it's coming from Enfield Labour Council, is that these are all car parks and golf courses, which is not the case. I'm not getting into the debate on it once again. It is not the case. And I think what leads to serious public distrust is when politicians try to gaslight what is right in front of people's eyes. And so therefore I would ask you, and I genuinely mean this, no cameras, no press, no residents, no electors, just me and you and your protection officers to visit Vicarage Farm so you can just see, before making a decision on any of this, the rolling green fields that will go. Because there is a significant amount. It's not golf courses and car parks. I just wanted to put that offer out there.
Sure, Chairman. I'm always happy to go and visit Enfield, but this isn't a City Hall decision, it's a government decision in relation to the strategic assessment and the environmental assessment. And the draft proposal, but at a suitable time, I'm sure we can arrange a visit.
Mr. Mayor, I think we can both acknowledge, just on a final point, you and your team, due to the affordability grants, transport schemes, and all of this, you will be very intimately involved if Cruise Hill and Vicarage Farm are allocated as a new town. This is why I'm asking the questions, and you can come for 10 minutes and say, Alex, we don't need to talk about it further, but I would just be grateful if we could do that site visit. As I say, from me, no one will be tipped off. I just would like for you to see it with your own eyes.
No, sure, but I'm not sure the new town red line's been agreed. The area's been agreed for the new town. So as and when, I'm more than happy to go and visit Enfield.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.